What's the problem? Hello. That's right. Yeah. It's the Halloween show. It's the Halloween show. I was working in my lab late one night when I transformed into an eerie sight. What do you think? My new look. I gotta tell you, it's really hot in this thing. I mean, really hot. I'm like really uncomfortable. I can't stay like this. I mean, how did the werewolves do it? I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. Oh! 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 How do I sound? Werewolfy, I hope. Should I just launch into this thing? I mean, I might as well. I'm really nervous about the show, I'm not going to lie. I want it to go really well because I don't know. It's the Halloween spectacular. It's got to go well. It's got to be good. That's a bad way to start the show. Let's start it over. Welcome to the Frumess Halloween Spectacular. um, yeah, so, I was looking up at the sky and I saw that it was a full moon and I started to feel a little hairy, a little itchy, a little scratchy, and this is the way of life. Such is life, such is life. What does everybody have doing for Halloween plans? What is the plan? Like what are we doing for Halloween here? I mean, I know I'm going to be eating a big bucket of candy that my children collect for me. You know, that is the one silver lining of having children. Well, there's a lot of reasons to have children, but one of the best reasons to have children is when they're old enough, you can send them door to door for Halloween candy. And then when they come back, you know what you get to do? You get to teach them about taxes. That's what you get to teach them about. You go, oh, you earned this much? Well, 35% goes to me because I walked you all around those blocks, kept you safe from all the ghouls and goblins. So now you got to give me some of your candy. How do I sound, by the way? Sound okay? Hope I sound okay. I'm trying to keep this on for as long as possible. It feels like a sauna in here. That's what it is. That's what it is. Oh boy, tonight is going to be some show. Taking the kiddo trick or treating and working. Oh my God, that makes my head hurt. I feel like Halloween should be a national holiday. Nobody should work on Halloween. Nobody. The world should just stop. That's what I think. If it was up to me. Oh, it sounds good even with the mask on. That's amazing. That makes me happy. All right, I don't know how much longer I can take this before I change the shift. Oh man. Oh, it feels good to be human again. Oh, geez. Wow. Okay, we're back to normal, everybody. The wolf's blood was pumping through my veins. Listen, we got to be careful. I might change back again if I. we got we got to make sure that I don't get upset because something might happen to me. I might just. Whew. All right. Now I am comfortable in talking about Night of Living Dead. Where do we begin? Yes, the transformation is very painful. Very painful. Bad Bad juju, man. It's bad juju. Okay, so yes, there is a full moon. That's right. There's a full moon. And when the moon is full and I stare at it, see, you can see it in my reflections here. The living love the dead. This is just the pre-show, guys. This is just the pre-show. We're just warming up here. We're just warming up. Hate the living, love the dead. Jeez Louise. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Let's do a little housekeeping before we launch into our thing. So Thursday we're doing a Sinful Celluloid with filmmaker, writer, producer Christopher Jimenez of Sinful Celluloid. We're gonna be talking about zombies, all zombies and undead creatures and things and whatnot. It's gonna be a great episode. That's Thursday. Tomorrow, I'm not sure yet, but I think tomorrow's show might be a fiend call-in extravaganza. I don't know. Where you guys are my guests on the show. You guys call in and you'll come on for a second and then we'll boot you for the next guy and so on and so on. We'll see. I'm not sure about that yet. And then what else is coming up? Keep your eyes peeled for the Monster Mash cereal review. It already was it's a Patreon exclusive. If you're a Patreon, you can already see it. And if you're a YouTube member, you still should have access to it. I timed it. I scheduled it. It's supposed to go out. Also, November coming fire. Sam Hain listening party, the final in our Sam Hain listening series. That is dropping in November 1st, okay? I also have a special surprise in November. I can't say what it is. Don't want to say what it is. A very special episode of the Streaming Evil Live show, assuming everything goes the way that it's supposed to go. So keep your eyes peeled for all these goodies and more. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Super important. And yeah, zombies are one of my favorite genres as well. Good to see you Wednesday. I don't know, Johnny. I don't know how any of that stuff works. But tonight, yes, thank you. Happy Halloween. Matthew really wants to do this. I don't want to disappoint him any further. I want to make sure that, whoa, hey, with the 666, whoa, chill out. Don't you know Satan's watching? He'll take us while we're sleeping. That's what happens. So here's the deal. Oh, what's up? Walter White coming in from New Zealand. What's going on? Welcome to the show. Very special show tonight. This is our Halloween special. So here's the thing. You guys asked for this. I had multiple requests in the chat. Jeff, what's going on for Halloween? I agree. George Romero is Jesus, baby. He is Jesus. No offense to anybody whose Savior is Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior. Sorry about that. Don't want to offend anybody. But to this Jew, he is Jesus. Sorry. Shut up, Jeff. Okay. Okay, so people have been asking for, Wednesday. You were one of the guys who asked, right? Yeah. People asked for this show. They wanted, Jeff, what are we doing for Halloween? Let's do some sort of, watch along movie thing. I said, sure, we're going to do it. We are going to do it. And guys, it's Von Fett's birthday tonight. Happy birthday to Von. We're celebrating by watching Night of the Living Dead, man. Of course I'm going to leave this video up. All the videos stay up on my channel. This is just a live broadcast. It's like, you know what this is like? It's like doing a show every night and just going live and freeballing it. You know what I mean? It's like doing spoken word stand-up. That's literally what it is. You're doing spoken word stand-up and you're just talking off the top of your dome. You're trying to keep the conversation interesting. This, that, and the other. We got Loki in the house. What's up, Loki? One day we'll get you and Joseph here at the same time and we'll all come on the channel and talk. But as I said, you guys requested it. Here it is. We're doing the watch-along show, Night of the Frumess Dead. Night of the Living Dead is one of my favorite films of all time. It is, when people ask me, Jeff, what is your favorite film? It's hard. I don't actually have a favorite film. It's hard to say what my favorite film would be. It's like it's nigh impossible. How am I supposed to answer that when there are so many films that I love for so many different reasons? You know, they're like they're so there's so many films that are sacred to me for different reasons. It's like music, man. Like I love all. You know, the Misfits are one of my favorite bands. I'm gonna answer that. Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. We're gonna Mystery Science Theater this thing. Exactly. You hit it on the nail on the head. It's not Mystery Science Theater. It's gonna be us doing a commentary. I was 10 when I first saw it, but we're gonna get to that. We are gonna get to that in just a second. You know, the Misfits and all, these bands that we love and champion, none of them are truly my favorite band. They're all bands that I love and that I feel passionate about. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with films. But if you're going to go, Jeff, what is your number one be all end all time favorite movie of all time? You think the answer would be Return of the Living Dead, and it might be. It might be on some days and some moods, but always, always, for me, the GOAT is Night of the Living Dead. It is it's just the best. It is the best. I celebrate and champion this film forever and ever and ever. How did I discover Night of the Living Dead? I was 10 years old. My neighbor had it on VHS, and we watched it, and it was terrifying to me. It was absolutely terrifying. It was, it captured my imagination. The thing that makes Night of the Living Dead and all zombie movies by default, by way of Night of the Living Dead, relatable is the fact that we put ourselves in the situation of the characters of the story, particularly in a movie like Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead. We imagine what the world is like, when the world gets boring, when life gets boring, when you're at work, just sitting behind a computer desk and you're bored and your brain starts to wander, it wanders to this. Or if you were in school, or if, whatever you're doing, you know what I mean? It's like this is one of those what if scenarios, And back in, some years ago, it was a lot cooler what if scenario. Now, ever since The Walking Dead, it's become it's a very played out sort of thing now. It's just sort of, it's played out, man. It's like, when you start seeing zombies selling cars in commercials for AMC's The Walking Dead, it doesn't feel like your private thing. Isn't that how we feel about all things that we love? The thing becomes mainstream, and then suddenly it's not our thing anymore, and we become elitist about it. John Voice of Doom saw Night of the Living Dead in around 73, 74. I want to say I saw Night of the Living Dead in 1995. That was my first exposure to Night of the Living Dead. Oh, stop it. Stop it. You're the type of old that I aspire to be to. I hope that doesn't come off sounding bad, because it's not. I think it's awesome. Don't be like that, John. You're awesome, dude. You are an awesome dude. I'm on my way. I'll see you. I'll see you real soon, John. I'll see you real soon. But even at 10 years old, I was absolutely just enthralled with this notion of the dead coming back to life and taking things over, and sort of trying to figure out different, like, what would I do in this situation? I would hide in, like they do in the remake. I would go and hide in our attic. I would think of, different escape routes. How would I escape out of the situation? I would go, would I do a soft jump from the second story floor? Like, all these, like, different things. What would make a good weapon to defend myself with? You know what I mean? Like, all these different types of what if scenarios. And I would just plug myself into the story. And that's why, the zombie genre, the Romero films in particular, were true favorites of mine growing up. Here's the thing. I've seen Night of the Living Dead hundreds of times, like so many times. And every time I watch it, I always find something new in it, which really says something to me about this film. It's the type of film that transcends the genre that it comes from. You know what I mean? It's the type of film that
you know, on the surface, it looks like a hokey horror film, or on the surface, it's just a cheesy B zombie film. And underneath, there's so much going on. There's so much going on. Some of you might not like it, what I'm going to say, because it's a little political, but the film is a political film. For those people, there's a lot of people that get really upset that like horror, when like this genre of horror punk is like when things turn slightly political, or when music turns slightly political. All fucking art is political in some way, shape, or form. There is a commentary behind every type of art, man. There's a commentary behind every type of art. This is an interesting question. Wednesday asked, if your child was 10, would you let he or she watch it, or at what age? I don't go by ages. I go by maturity. You know what I mean? I would go by like, how does my child carrying themselves? Can they mentally handle, what they are going to see? And if they couldn't, I wouldn't let them watch it. So I wouldn't go by age per se. I would go by like emotional maturity. I will say that I did let my son watch Alien versus Predator at 6 years old. Probably a little bit of a mistake, because he really loves predators now, and he talks about ripping people's skulls out. Um, in a very like sort of like joking way, like in that like imagination sort of little boy way. But I had to have a conversation with him and be like, dude, you can't say that at school, because they will freak out. You can't talk about ripping people's skulls out. So it's like my son is not scared by Alien versus Predator, but he doesn't know to like, I don't know if he knows to like not go to school and be like, pretending to be a predator, wanting to rip out someone's spinal remains and their skull and hang it on his wall. So it's like kind of like I think it all depends on the temperament of the child. For me, I was 10 years old. I was transformed. I would say, there were three films that really transformed me at a young age, like really transformed me. And it's Night of the Living Dead at the age of 10. It's the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I also saw at the age of 10. And it's Return of the Living Dead, which I also saw at 10 years old. These three films had such a huge impact on me and what I would go on to watch and consume. So what is it that makes Night of the Living Dead more than just a like horror film, like a cheesy B horror film? It is the politics of what is going on at the time. Um, John says he also saw The Exorcist in 1973 at a drive-in with his dad. Good parenting. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, how did you feel, John? How did you feel after you saw that? Like, what did it do? What did it do to you? Could you not sleep? Did you have nightmares? Were you okay? Like how did it make you feel? I feel like it just really depends. It's total discretion. There's no blanket rule for this stuff. It's just about how well you know your kid, and can they handle it or can they not handle it? And sometimes you show them something they can't handle it, and you learn. You live and you learn. You know. Matt has a good point here. People miss out on a lot if they don't watch these films as children. Frankenstein does smack a 35-year-old the same way it does a 6-year-old. Right. When you watch Frankenstein as a 35-year-old, you're not going to be affected as the way you are when you're 6 years old. Frankenstein's going to look like a giant to you. You know what I mean? In any case, what's going on underneath Night of the Living Dead? So on the surface, we have a horror film. I said that about 100 times already. Here's what's happening underneath. You have a film about a disastrous situation, right? I mean, there is bedlam and chaos as civilization is literally buckling and soon to crumble at a disastrous force that nobody can contend with, nobody can comprehend, and nobody can understand. And if they had just, if people would just work together, they could overcome the problem. But stuff gets in the way. Attachment to loved ones, resources, not trusting one another because of, certain, politics in the real world outside of the disaster, like when things were normal, the way that you might interact in that world, will influence how you're going to act in a disaster scenario under pressure. What's more interesting about Night of the Living Dead is not the zombies. The zombies are not interesting. It's not about them in the original one, at least. And it was different when I was younger. Obviously, when I was younger, it was all about the zombies. But, watching this film as a teenager and as an adult, it has never been about the zombies. It's never been about the gore. It is about watching individuals in a pressure cooker situation trying to work together to survive and are incapable of doing so, and it causes their demise. And the elephant in the room for Night of the Living Dead, and I'm about to get a certain way here. I've noticed that some of my audience doesn't like it when I talk about this stuff, but I don't care because it's very important to the tapestry that is Night of the Living Dead. Now, George Romero, he made a decision in casting. They all did. They made a decision in casting that would affect and sort of, it would affect the movie's legacy for the last 54 years. I mean, super important decision was made. The characters are not written with any kind of race in mind. Ben is supposed to be a truck driver, and they intended him to be a white guy. But there really was no, it's just, Ben is Ben, right? And Dwayne Jones, who is black, auditions for the role of Ben, and he's the best guy for the job. He gives the best performance. It is unanimously agreed that Dwayne Jones should be the dude to play Ben. And what this does is give the layer of what we were just talking about people in a pressure cooker situation trying to survive the night and having to work together against all costs to sort of survive. It creates a whole nother layer of tension just by making one dude black. It just changes everything. It changes the movie. And it's made it timeless as a result. I guarantee you people would not be reveling in the brilliance of Night of the Living Dead in the same way that they do today if Ben was played by a white guy. Now, that's not to say that they did it consciously. They did, Romero and Russo and Striner and everybody who made this film, a collective of filmmakers called Image 10. They came together, everybody threw in $600. So they started with a seed fund of $6,000 to go out into the farmland, the farm woods, to this farmhouse and make this little film. They were a production house. They all decided Dwayne Jones is the best guy for the job. And they all weren't like, hey, man, we're trying to make a statement. Because you have to remember, what is the climate when they're making Night of the Living Dead? It's 1967. It's at the height of the civil rights movement, man. There's marches going on. There's so much racial tension in America's fabric and society. And, it really culminates in April. I think it's April of 1968 when Martin Luther King is assassinated. And you had riots all over the place, man. I mean, it was just absolute bedlam. So to think that in this crazy tumultuous time that this collective of filmmakers and this film crew decides to tell this story with a black man as its lead, which was unheard of at the time. Because here's the thing, you do have movies starring like Sidney Poitier, what's it? Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Or To Sir with Love. You have these films where he is the lead, but when the black man is the lead in the 60s, it's all about the controversy of the dude being black. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about like, that's what the plot is. That's what the plot is. The plot is dude is black. Controversy because the dude is black. In Night of the Living Dead, there's none of that. It's never mentioned, acknowledged. It's not important to the characters per se, at least on the surface. But underneath the surface, and this is very key, as I just said, it's not on the surface, but underneath the surface, by simply casting a black actor, they have created a whole different layer, whatever you want to call it, of tension. Because of the climate at the time, because of, just everything that would come, all that stuff suddenly gets written into the story. Because every single conflict between Harry Cooper, who's, played by Carl Hardman, we know who Harry Cooper is, he's what you would consider to be the antagonist, and then you have Dwayne Jones playing Ben. They clash, they butt heads, and you know, on the surface, it's just about the situation, but underneath, there is almost this sense, because he is a black man, that there is more there, that there is some sort of tension. You know what I mean? That there is, and you'll see it. You'll see it. You're going to see it right now. We're going to watch the film. This is just the preamble. You're going to see it and hopefully you'll see it. To me, it's clear as day that it's just there. You have these two dudes who are vying for control. The house becomes the world. The rifle represents power, and it's a power that Harry Cooper wants, that Ben has. And again, if they would just work together, they would have survived. But because they couldn't work together, they were focused on other things. Like someone had to be in control. I have to be in control right now. You know what I mean? Harry has to be in control. Ben has to be in control. And everybody's sort of in between these two polar opposite forces with completely different mentalities on how to survive. It's Harry Cooper who wants to go down in the cellar. He thinks that if they board themselves up in the cellar, that they will be safe. There's only one door to worry about, and they could barricade it, and they could just wait this thing out until it blows over. Ben, he wants to stay upstairs. He wants options, man. He wants to have, at any moment that he could sort of, that they could escape, that they could do so. You can't escape if you're in the cellar. If you're in the cellar, you're in the cellar, and that's it. You know what I mean? That will be the end of you should they break down the door. As it turns out, ironically, Harry Cooper is kind of right, but he's only right because they let it get to a place where the dead come through all the doors and overwhelm them. Had they worked together, they could have kept them out. You know what I mean? And then here's the other thing that I love about Night of the Living Dead. Harry Cooper is an asshole, and we all hate him because of the way he acts, but he is not a bad guy. He's the antagonist, but antagonist and protagonist don't always necessarily mean good and bad. A protagonist is like the main character and usually the one that you're rooting for. But an antagonist doesn't mean a bad force. It means the conflicting force. There are many times in a film where an antagonist will end up, being they'll find redemption at the end, or being a redeemable force in some way, shape, or form, by the end of the film. And I don't look at Harry Cooper as a bad man per se. I look at him as a family man trying to protect what he thinks is best for his family. Because here's the thing, Harry Cooper is part of the reason why his daughter dies, if you think about it. If they were more concerned about getting the daughter to a safe place, and at the end of the day, she was doomed from the beginning, because a bite equals death. A bite is a death sentence, right? But he was more concerned about being right, about being in control with the gun, and about, having the power. And as a result, he gets people killed, and he gets himself killed. And Ben loses his temper. That's what makes Ben such a great character. He is this dude who is operating, he's performing in this incredible way under incredible pressure, in an incredibly crazy situation. You know what I mean? So that's all the stuff that I really love about, that really makes Night of the Living Dead just an exemplary film for me, And then it's the craft of the movie itself. The fact that it was made for $100,000 in 1967, which is very, very little amount of money for shooting a film, for shooting a film in the 60s. There have been movies that have been made for less amounts of money, but that's a very small, paltry amount to make a movie with. And it's just the fact that they it's the tenacity and the ingenuity. And again, here's a guy who's like, I'm not going to go to LA to be a filmmaker. I'm not going to go to New York to be a filmmaker. I'm going to make a movie in my town. And now look at it. 54 years later, 53 years later, people are flock. They make pilgrimages. I made a pilgrimage there. People make pilgrimages to this place because he shot a movie there. It really is a testament. I love the remake as well. I saw some talk about the remake. The remake, it's frankly, the Night of the Living Dead remake is one of the best remakes of all time. Really, truly. It's such a, and maybe it helps the fact that George Romero rewrote his own script, but it's just, it's a phenomenal remake that sort of tweaks what was done in the original and comes at it from a different angle, and I love it for that. Okay, without further ado, we're gonna try this now. We are gonna watch Night of the Living Dead. Okay, I hope this works. You got to bear with me here, people. That's what we said we're gonna do. Now, one more thing in the preamble here. By the way, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please make sure you like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to this channel. Appreciate you. This is not, we're not just watching the movie. We are talking about the movie. I'm going to talk over this movie. This is not going to be this is about commentary. This is not just about watching the film. If I want to just watch the film, then we would just watch the film. But I want to do a commentary on the film. That's the whole point here. So we will be talking over the film. And we'll see about after the film. We'll see how late this goes. Let's launch into it. I'm hitting my weed pen in excitement. All right, man. All right, Matt. That's awesome. All right, I hope this works. Guys, if we have any technical snafus, please let me know. I have a backup here. I really don't want to use it if I don't have to. Okay, hold on. Bum, 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 bum. All right, here it is, baby. Night of the Living Dead. Let me just gotta shift some things over here. Goodness, what is happening right now? Here it is. Movie start already? Can't tell. Yeah, it is. It's really loud. That's really loud. TV party tonight. TV party tonight. We're gonna have a TV party tonight. All right. There it is, baby. Night of the Living Dead. I've driven through those hills, man. Yes, I agree. The soundtrack is amazing. Incredible soundtrack. Look, you'll see that George Romero there is also credited as a writer because he was. Guys, I might not be able to show comments because I don't want this thing to freeze on me. How's the picture? Is everything okay? Yes, the film is in public domain. There's Gary Striner, the sound engineer. He's the brother of Russ Striner, the producer. And it most certainly is in the public domain because they didn't put a copyright notice. That was changed, by the way. There you go, the latent image, which is the building from which Image 10 operated, George Romero's production company. Guys, is the picture okay? Everything's good? Okay, Wednesday says it's good. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm afraid, to be honest. Dawn of the Dead is a great one too, man. Great follow-up. Wow. So crazy. Now, Carl Hardman, he plays Harry Cooper, the antagonist in the film, as we discussed. Picture is choppy shit. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I know some people are saying the picture's good. I don't know, guys. I don't want to mess with this too much. Now, a lot of the trees you're going to see are no longer there.
The first day of summer.
They came down with storms and
It's
stuff.
8 o'clock and it's still light.
What good the extra daylight does us.
Now, we've still got a 3-hour drive back.
Still
We're not
got
going
a
to be home
3-hour
until
drive
after
back.
midnight.
Well, if it really bugged you, Johnny, you wouldn't do it.
So Johnny is
Got
the
one
producer of
love
this
Sunday
film.
on a
He's
scene
Russ
like
Streiner.
this. You know,
Still kicking.
I figured
God
we're either
bless
going
him.
to have to move Mother out here or move the grave into Pittsburgh.
She can't make
And that's
a trip
Judith
like
O'Day.
Oh. No,
She's also still around. She plays
Sorry,
Barbara.
I had candy
They're
left.
married. They're brother and sister.
this. No.
And they're there to
Look at this thing.
leave
We still remember.
this
I don't.
tacky
You know, I
sort
don't
of
even
wreath
remember what the
on
man looks like.
their mother's
Johnny,
grave.
it takes you 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes
hear
to
an
put the
echo, do
wreath
you
on the
guys?
grave and 6 hours to drive back and forth. Mother wants to remember, so we trot 200
I
miles
mean, the
into
dialogue
the
is
country
so
and she stays at
natural
home.
here too.
Well,
It's
we're here,
the
John,
dialogue
all
is really
right?
good. For like a cheesy, what's supposed to be a cheesy B movie.
Back on.
All the dialogue is convincing to me.
Ladies and
Hey,
gentlemen, we're coming back
Already
on the
they're starting
air
to
after
hear
an
there was a
interruption due to
disaster.
technical problems.
See, John, you learn something new every day. I'm going to call out the comments as I see them. I'm just not going to flash them on the screen. Yes, everybody had a helping hand on this film. So Harry Cooper and Russ Streiner were the
Nothing wrong
producers
with the
of film.
radio. Must have
There's
been
the
the
church
station.
house still
Which
standing.
row is it in?
They really are great actors, man. It can't be understated. Yeah, it's just not, there are not as many trees. The trees are still there, but they're just not as many.
Well, there's no one around.
Well, it's late. If you'd gotten up
All of
earlier-
this music
Oh, look,
that's
I already
used,
lost an
every
hour's
piece
sleep
of
on the
music that you
flying
hear
I
in
think
this
you
film
complain just to hear
is
yourself talk.
stock music from
There it
a
is.
sound library. It was not scored for the film. And there's the famous Blair Stone. Everybody who comes up here always looks for the Blair Stone. The headstone that says Blair.
I wonder what happened
I've
to the
taken a
one
picture
from
there.
last year.
You haven't
Each year we
visited
spend
this
good money
place
on
if
these
you don't
things.
take a picture with the
I'm
Blair
out here, and the
Stone.
one from last
Yes,
year's
ma'am.
gone.
Well, the flowers die, and the caretaker or somebody takes them away.
The 4K restoration
Yeah, a
is
little spit
really,
and
really
polish
great as
and
well.
clean this up.
Just stupendous.
Sell it next year.
I got to
Wonder
see
how
it on
many
the big
times we
screen,
bought
I think
the
in
same one.
2017. It's awesome. I forgot the name of the headstone there. I did a live stream up there though. We kind of looked at it a little bit. Oh, it's freezing. Freezing on my end at least. I hope it's not freezing.
Hey, come on, Barb. Church was this morning, huh?
Carpetbagger. That video is still up if you want to look at it. I'm going to keep this about Night of the Living Dead, but it's still up. We just missed the lightning flash. So random. There's no rain or anything. They just randomly have this lightning flash. And there's the first zombie, man. Which totally subverts our expectations. I will,
praying's for
Carpetbagger. I
church,
will. You know, we're not expecting that to be the first zombie.
I haven't seen you in church
You know?
lately.
Well, there's not much sense
They
in
just
my
sort
going
of
to church.
spring it on us.
Do you remember one time when we were small, we were out here? It was from right over there. I jumped out at you from behind the tree,
He's talking
and
about
Grandpa got all
scaring
excited.
them
He
when they
shook
were
his
children.
fist at me, and he said, "Boy, you be damned
Scaring
to
her
hell."
when they were children.
Remember that? Right over there. Well,
Look
you
at
used
his
to
polka
really
dot
be
tie.
scared here.
See, I'm telling you, I've noticed something new
Johnny,
every single time.
you're
I
still
never,
afraid.
ever paid attention to
Stop it
Johnny's
now, I
polka
mean
dot
it.
tie.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
They're coming.
Stop it!
There's
You're
the Blair
ignorant.
Stone. Again,
They're
see it?
coming
See the
for
bee?
you,
They're
Barbara.
coming to get you,
Stop
Barbara.
it! You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you.
Look,
There comes one of them
how
now.
ironic it
He'll
was.
hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting
I
out.
can't stop looking at his
Johnny.
polka dot tie. Look at this guy. That's Bill Heinzman. I also got to meet him. He's no longer with us. The original cemetery ghoul. Johnny tries to take him off. Doesn't end well for Johnny. And this is a very famous stone right here too. What she's leaning against. I don't forget what it says. Brighton, maybe? Uses his glasses. No, it doesn't say that. Come on, Johnny. You think Johnny's going to be the hero of the story, and he dies. And boom! And Johnny's down. For now. Ooh, hideous. The cemetery ghoul runs after her. And
Yes, that's true, Matt. Oh, we didn't even talk about that. So stupid of me in the intro. This movie changed everything. The term zombie, you know, yeah, right, they call them ghouls. But ghoul is a separate creature. What's funny is ghouls actually eat the dead. And zombies, modern zombies, eat the living. So it's like they combined the voodoo zombie with the ghoul and created the modern zombie. Flesh eater. It's supposed to be called Night of Anubis. Anubis being the god of the dead to the Egyptians. There's also going to be Night of the Flesh Eaters. We're settling on Night of the Living Dead. One of the rare times a zombie uses a tool. Boom! And you can see, you know, there's not many sound effects. They're very crude, and that's because a lot of this sound was put in post afterwards. That music is just so iconic. Again, library music. Now, we were talking before, so you can see a dent on the side of the car, and that was an accident, and they wrote this into the film. They wrote her crash into the film to explain the dent in the car, which was so unimportant, but to them it was important. Then they felt it was necessary that they had to write that in, you know? Now it's going to go quiet, just music. You're not going to hear anything else but music. Thunder, a little thunder. Sorry, I'm trying to make it right amount of mix. So again, besides the thunder, besides the music, everything else was shot silently. There it is, the farmhouse. She makes a dash for it. The zombie's not a threat, man. There's a gas pump out of nowhere. They don't establish the gas pump at all. No footsteps, no nothing. I mean, she's having a mental breakdown right now. It's I kind of imagine this music and the camera work and everything is in her head. You know, look at him, just one guy. You know, it's also important to note how the zombie problem gets out of control because they don't handle it soon. Had they handled it when it was still small, it wouldn't have become the problem that it becomes. You know? Look at the stark black and white lining. Pitch black except for a spotlight on the door. So brilliant. You can see the hot spots where they place lights right there on the door. So genius. Created such atmosphere, such a mood. It's like, let's have her go to a farmhouse. Clearly something has already happened here. Had they just taken care of it now instead of later, they wouldn't have ganged up on them and trapped them inside the farmhouse, you know? Imagine if they were Return of the Living Dead zombies, fast zombies, they'd be screwed. Everybody would be screwed. Again, completely quiet, except for the music. It's like, oh my God, I hate hunting. Look, takes out the power. Which is weird, because he doesn't. I think he just takes out the phone line. He's like, fuck this phone line. It's like, she can't call the police. Oh, that's what it was, just the phone line, because they still have power. They listen to the radio and the TV. Thank you, Carpetbagger. Appreciate your comments. Yeah, it doesn't work, because you ripped it out. What is behind her, by the way? Look at that. Oh, it's like a animal. It's funny. We don't see the animals. I feel like we don't see the animals after this scene. All the animal heads get taken down. I love that black and white, man. It's just like a bobblehead. Oh, now there's more. Should have bounced while you could. They're dead. They're all messed up. I mean, it'd be so easy to just sort of get around them. Here it comes. Ready? The cow skull. Look at the light shining through the banister. So well placed. There it is. That's the cover of Night of the Living Dead. Glenn Danzig saw that and was like, I'm going to steal it. It's in the public domain. Listen how George uses the music. He builds so much atmosphere. And here he is. The man himself. Ben. One of the most badass horror movie heroes of all time. Just pops out of nowhere. Got the tire iron. Boom. His backstory that he tells about being in the diner, so genius. Matt, that skull is made out of a cow skull. And it's shot at a really odd angle.
Get a lot more of them as soon as they find out about us. The truck is out of gas. This pump out here is locked. Is there a key?
They just had the key to the
try to
gas
get out
pump.
if we can get some
That was
gas.
one
Is there
thing
a
that
key?
George Romero did really well in the remake. The sense of irony that the gas pump key was in the basement the whole time where he didn't want to go. Here's Ben. He's just always looking for a solution. Always trying to figure out what to do.
Do you live here?
And now she's really quiet. Again, you know, people always shit on Barbara, man. They're like, oh, she's like, you know, just like useless, blah, blah, blah. She's suffering from serious PTSD. She just saw her brother murdered. She had to run away from an undead person, and she's just lost her mind. But she's not,
We've got to get out of here.
like,
We have to get to where there's some other people.
useless. In fact, she redeems herself, and she further
Maybe we better take some food.
sort of turns things around in the remake,
I'll see if I can
which
find
was
some
George's doing, you know? There's chocolate syrup, baby. All the blood in this film is chocolate syrup. No joke. That is truth. It's a genius move. There's some food in the icebox that we got to eat. I'm telling you, his acting, him telling the story of where he was and how he got to the farmhouse, we don't ever need to see it. You know, a modern film would flash back to show us, but Ben just has to tell us, man. Damn zombies. Vandals. I'll call the cops on you. He's so mad.
There are two of them out there. Have you seen any more around here? I can take care of those two.
I mean, you have to understand. Like, think about this. This is 1968. Black dude is the star of your film. Like, it just was not very common. Okay, now that is John Russo, the writer of the film, not him. Boom! That's not John Russo. He's coming though. You can so clearly tell he's not hitting him in the head though. It's alright. Safety first. But he's heading off to the side. He's coming down. You don't even in I feel like in general in movies, that's John Russo. So he is the writer of the film. He's still around and kicking. His big debut. He directed a film called My Uncle John is a Zombie. True story. That is a real movie. I hope the picture is okay, guys. I hope the sound is okay. Again, some of the lighting outside is a little suspect. Like, it's pitch black except for, like, pools of light where they put spotlights to shoot this film. That's okay, though. We don't mind. Oh, takes him out. Tries to. It just, even today, man, it's just so good. He goes, impales him in the head. I mean, that is graphic for 1968, I think. Tire iron comes in handy. He's like, what the freak did I just do, man? Uh-oh. Not you too. Get out of here. He's like, oh, you poked me in the eye! Look at that shot. Look at that shot. Look at the way that they menacingly come towards him. One of the best shots of the zombie, of all the zombies. They just, every time you go back outside, there's more and more of them. They're attracted to the lights in the house, I guess. It's friggin' brilliant, though, man. Look at those shadows. What's up, Dagger Love? Don't look at it.
Don't look at it.
Burn that motherfucker. Drag him in. There they are. They set a lot of fires in this film. Smart move. It's just Ben doing the best he can in just a really crazy situation. I love how he thinks that like a single match is going to ignite his whole body though. I think maybe the clothes, but it would go out eventually. It just goes up. There's almost like a Frankensteinish like vibe of these zombies. Like they use crude tools, they walk very slowly, and they're afraid of fire. Sorry, what's the seltzer? And now I think this is when we learn his story. Oh no, yeah, he looks around
More
for
lights
stuff.
on in this house.
And find the rifle. Why have they never made like a Night of the Living Dead Xbox game? Like you go to the farmhouse, you gotta search for weapons in the farmhouse, find the rifle. And here's the thing, there's just one rifle in the whole game. Make it a really sought after sort of like thing. You know? Look at her hairstyle. So 1960s. Cooked in tea bags, baby. You can teabag those zombies to death. Yes, nails. Hey, Droid, I'm very happy to have you as well. And yes, 120% Karloff's Frankenstein, I agree. He's getting frustrated. He doesn't understand what she's been through.
Look, I know you're afraid. I'm afraid. But we have to try to board the house up together. Now, I'm going to board up the windows and the doors. Do you understand?
I mean, it's a great
We'll be
plan.
all right
Board
here.
up the house. Keep
We'll be all right
everybody
until someone
safe.
comes arrest
And
us.
you
We'll
still,
have to
there's
work
places
together.
to
You'll have
escape.
help me. Now, I want you to go in and get some wood so I can board the place up. Do you understand? Okay? Okay?
We didn't even talk about the ending. We'll wait for the ending to talk about the ending and why the ending is so important. Even if it makes you guys mad at me. Look at all the random objects. There are whole Facebook groups devoted to finding the objects that are just in these rooms. within Night of the Living Dead and like finding replicas of them and like taking pictures and posting them in these like the same minutia that we love about the Misfits, people do for Night of the Living Dead. Well, there's another shot of the warthog. Maybe I was wrong. There's the music box. I think Matthew mentioned that earlier. The last time that this music box will ever be played. Probably. Look at that shot. George Romero getting all artsy on us. Ben's like, just take down the doors, dude. He's such a smart dude. And it's a shame. This farmhouse does not exist anymore. They demolished it. But people sell vials of the dirt from the location. Just like the Evil Dead house. But could you imagine if the farmhouse was still around? People would, I would go. I would have to go to visit. Now, the cellar that they use in this film was at Image 10 building, the Image 10 building. There was no cellar in this house. So that was shot separately from everything that happens in the farmhouse, which they lived in. They lived in this farmhouse. There was no running water. Crazy to make this movie. There he goes, boarding stuff up. I'll tell you, I never, ever get tired of watching this movie. And it's like, just when you get to the middle of the movie, and it's like, well, where's this film gonna go? It's two people in a farmhouse, there's things on the outside, where are we gonna go with this? And then we're introduced to a whole new set of survivors who knew that they were there, but didn't let them know of their presence, which automatically creates tension. There you go, she's losing it. She's like, I can't even process what I've been through today. I went to just leave a wreath on my brother's grave, and now my brother is dead. I'm locked inside this farmhouse with a dude I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get out of here.
Not that strong. Yeah, I want you to pick out some nails. Pick out the biggest ones you can find.
She can't function. He's just getting stuff done.
Secure. If we have to, we can run in here and board up the doors. Won't be long for those things to be back pounding their way in here. They're afraid now.
They're afraid because of the fire. There goes the kitchen table.
They're afraid of fire.
I'll always remember these table legs for as long as I live, the way that they look. Like the round circular bulbs on them.
You know a place back down the road called Beekman's? Beekman's Diner?
Look at him. Oh yeah,
Anyhow, that's where I found that truck I have
noises
out there.
outside.
There's a radio in the truck. I jumped in to listen to it
This is so brilliant.
when a big gasoline truck came screaming right across the road. But there must have been 10, 15 of those things chasing after it, grabbing and holding on.
I'm in awe.
Now, I didn't see them at first. I could just see that the truck was moving in a funny way.
You can imagine the whole thing.
Those things were catching up to it. The truck went
As he's
right
taking the
across the
table
road.
apart.
Slammed on my brakes to keep from hitting it myself. It went right through the guardrail.
It's like low budget storytelling, right?
I guess the driver must have cut off the road into that gas station by Beekman's Diner.
Right, Beekman's Diner.
It went right through
That's
the
what,
billboard.
yeah.
Ripped over a gas pump and never stopped moving. By now it's like a moving bonfire.
A moving bonfire. Such visual dialogue.
The truck was going to explode or what? Still hear the man screaming.
Screaming.
This thing is just backing away from it.
He's reliving it.
I looked back at the diner to see if there was anyone there who could help me.
This is
That's when I
not a
noticed
zombie movie.
The entire place had been encircled. Wasn't a sign of life left except
When he says there was no sign of left, he's not saying that there's nobody there. He's saying that
there were no
everybody's
more
dead.
screams. I realized that I was alone with 50 or 60 of those things, just standing there, staring at me.
He's telling like a full, like a big budget zombie film, just like orally telling it to us, the audience.
Just plowed right through them. They didn't move. They didn't run. Or just stood there, staring at me.
Hey,
Just
Jessica,
walking.
I'm so glad to hear that. I can't shine this comment on because I don't want to freeze, but I really appreciate your comment,
Scattered
Jessica.
through the air like
Thank you for subscribing.
We were riding in the cemetery. Johnny and me.
Glad you enjoy it.
Johnny.
See, now they're just, I mean, the movie,
We came
the movie
to put a
had,
wreath
had created
on
a
my
climax,
father's
and now
grave.
we're going down into a little bit of a valley.
Johnny
You know, it's not just,
and he
everything
said,
can't just be up here all the time. It has to
"Can I
have
have some
peaks and
candy,
valleys.
Barbara?"
This is all character building. It's not
We didn't
a
have
zombie
any.
movie. It's a disaster film.
And
You could take the zombies out and put any other disaster. You could put
it's hot in
COVID.
here. Hot.
Don't want to get in trouble here.
And he said, "Oh, it's late. Why did we start so late?" And I said, "Johnny, if you'd gotten up earlier."
She's
wouldn't
she's
be
so
late.
good, man.
Johnny asked me if I were afraid.
And I said, "I'm not afraid, Johnny." And then this man started walking up the road. He came
I mean,
slowly.
but you don't have to tell us. We
and
saw it already.
Johnny
You don't have
kept
to tell us the
teasing me
film.
and saying, "He's coming to get
A little
you,
redundant.
Barbara." And I laughed at him and said,
Oh,
"Johnny, stop
carpetbagger. I'm
it."
so glad, beggar,
And then
carpetbagger. I'm so glad to
Johnny
hear that.
ran away.
Thank you guys.
And I
Really appreciate this.
I
comment.
went
I'm
up to
gonna
this
shut it
man,
real quick, because
and I was
really
going to
do appreciate it.
apologize.
Why don't you just keep calm?
And I
This is
looked up
freezing my system.
and I said, "Goody." And he grabbed me. He grabbed me.
Dude, pure
and he
PTSD,
ripped at
man.
me. He held me and he ripped at my clothes.
I think you should just calm down.
They don't understand what
I
Ben doesn't
screamed,
understand what
"Johnny!
PTSD is at all.
Johnny,
Like he has like
help
no
me! Oh,
understanding of
help
this.
me!" And
Yeah, John. The
Oh, he
the
ripped-
crickets are crazy, dude.
And then Johnny came and he ran and he fought this man. And I got so afraid. I ran. I ran.
Yeah, she ran. And she ran.
Johnny didn't come.
She ran so far away.
We have to wait for Johnny.
He's all like, dude, I got to take
We
inventory
gotta
of
go
what's in
out
this
and
living
get
room. We
him.
got to like
We have to go out and get Johnny.
barricade.
He's out there. Please, don't you hear me? We've got to go out and get him. Please!
Johnny's gone.
We have got to go get Johnny! Please help me! Please!
Don't you know what's going on out there? This is no Sunday school picnic.
Don't you understand? My brother is alone!
She's just out of her mind.
No! My brother is not dead!
She's just having a rough day of it, man. Ooh. Would not fly today. Let's see. Listen, they're in a crazy situation. Tensions are high. Inexcusable, but tensions are high. She needs a nap. It's a long night. What time do you think of the night it is? It's Night of the Living Dead, right? It ends in the morning. So what time? Did the sun just set? Here's the Zenith, baby. The world famous Zenith radio. Time to find out what's going on. You know? That's right, Tommy. Get your
Because of
mind
the
right.
obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens, and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night. This station and hundreds of other radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country.
I mean, this is
are
a great
pooling
way
their
to give us
resources through any
exposition, you know. It doesn't feel ham-fisted.
to keep you
It's
informed
meant
of
to
all
be
developments.
exposition. That's what
At
it
this
is.
hour,
We need the
repeat,
radio to
these
know
are the
what's
facts
going
as we
on.
know them. There is an
It totally
epidemic of
works for
mass
the
murder
this
being
film.
committed by a virtual army of unidentified assassins.
Like,
The
you
murders are taking
can
place
say
in
the most
villages,
ridiculous
cities,
shit in the world
rural
because it's
homes, and
it's
suburbs with no
it's read with
apparent
such
pattern or
conviction
reason
by a
for the
radio
same.
guy.
It seems to be a sudden,
The
general
dead are starting to
explosion
come
of
back
mass
to life
homicide.
and blah 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 blah. Like, it
Cannot
just
some
totally works for
descriptions
this
of the
film.
assassins.
It doesn't
Eyewitnesses
feel
say they are
unbelievable
ordinary-looking people.
in the slightest.
Some say they
You
appear to be in
can
a kind
make
of
a movie
trance.
about
Others
anything
describe
if
them
the
as being
people who are acting it really truly believe what's happening, you know, or really truly act like it's happening. Return of the Living Dead's another great example of that.
So,
They
at this
just
point, there is no
deliver
really
with such
authentic way for us
conviction.
to say who or what to
There's
look
the
for
deer
and
again.
guard
Okay, I'm
yourself
wrong. I
against.
guess the
Misshapen
stuffed
monsters.
animal, the stuffed deer
Reaction
heads.
of law enforcement officials
Here
is
we
one of
go.
complete
He's about to
bewilderment
get
at
the
this hour.
bonus.
So far, we have
What's in the
been
closet,
unable
baby?
to determine that any kind of organized
He's
investigation
like, I better
is
get
yet
this fire going.
underway. Police, sheriff
So I
deputies,
can
and
constantly
emergency
set
ambulances
things on fire and, like,
dead loose
throw
with
them
calls for
outside.
help. The scene can
In
best
my
be
video
described
game of
as
Night of the
mayhem.
Living Dead, that'd be
Mayors
a
of Pittsburgh,
thing. You could
Philadelphia, and
you could set things on
Miami,
fire and then throw them out the window
Midwestern states have
at
indicated
the
the
dead.
National Guard
Like, that's
may
the
be
game. The
mobilized
game
at
is
any
you
moment,
have to
but that has not
keep
happened
the
yet.
dead from getting into the
Only
house.
twice our
You know,
reporters have been able to
there's
get
only
from
one
official
rifle though,
sources. It's for private citizens
and there's the
to
downstairs
stay
and the upstairs. It's Harry Cooper
behind locked
versus
doors. Do not venture outside for any
what's his
reason
face?
until the nature of this crisis has been determined, and until
Ben.
we can advise what course of action to take.
Okay, so you guys
Keep
think it's
listening,
8 o'clock?
radio and
That makes
TV
sense.
For any special
I'm down with
instructions as
that.
this crisis develops further. Thousands of
He's like,
office
just gonna
and
keep the
factory
torches
workers are
going.
being urged to stay at their places of employment,
Smart-
not to make any
smart man.
attempt to get to their homes. However, in spite of this urging and warning, streets and highways are packed with frantic people trying to raise their families or apparently to flee just anywhere.
Here we go.
Repeat, the safest course of action
Set that couch on
simply
fire.
to stay where you
It's the only way. Somebody scream. They're like, fire bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've just received word that the president has called a meeting of his cabinet to deal with the sudden epidemic of murder which has seized the eastern third of this nation. The meeting is scheduled to convene within the hour. Members of the presidential
How did you leave
cabinet
that
will be
window
joined
unboarded,
by
buddy?
officials of the FBI and joint behind closed doors. The White House spokesman
Look at
in
that.
announcing
Boarded
this
up the
conference
whole house.
says there will be an
You know,
official
Harry
announcement
Cooper
as soon
and
as
what's his
possible
face?
following
They
that
all could have
meeting.
helped
This
him,
is
man.
the latest dispatch just received in our
There's
newsroom.
Tom and Judy.
Latest word also from National Press Services in Washington, D.C.
Mrs.
now
Cooper,
tells us that the emergency
Helen Cooper,
presidential conference, which we've just mentioned, will include high-ranking
and the
scientists.
daughter. She just says,
for
I
and the
heard.
Space Administration.
That's her one line. Look at that.
This latest military meeting, members of his cabinet,
So brilliant.
joint chiefs of staff and scientists.
Zero in on the door. That's where they are.
All radio and TV stations around this part of the country, including the one to which you're listening, have joined their facilities in an emergency network to bring you this news as
Yes,
it
a
develops.
Venus
We
probe
urge you to stay tuned to
fell,
radio and TV and
fell
to
back to
stay
Earth, and the
indoors
radiation
at all
created
costs.
zombies.
Late reports
At least in
reaching
this
this
one.
newsroom tell of frightened people seeking refuge
I like
in
it better
churches,
when we don't know.
schools,
We
and
don't need to
government
know.
buildings,
That's
demanding
the dead
shelter
are
and
back.
protection from the wholesale
It's
murder,
inexplainable.
which apparently is engulfing much of the nation.
Right?
Law enforcement officials are at a loss to explain, or even at this hour.
How did they not hear that in the basement? Of course they heard it.
So far, they're able to give them
They're like, let him do all the work, and then we'll come up here and reap the benefits.
Camden, North Carolina, was quoted as saying,
He's exhausted.
"Tell the people for God's
Seems
sake
to have a
get out of
smoke.
the streets. Tell them to go home.
I'll tell you, this movie makes me want to have a cigarette, just watching
We
him
don't know
smoke
what
that.
kind of murder-happy characters
Oh, sorry that it froze up. Is it better now?
of Camden, North Carolina.
Fine on my end.
So far, the only descriptions, the only clues
Ah, shit, the screen's frozen? This is what I was afraid of, man. Is it still frozen?
describe the murderers as ordinary-looking people.
I'm not frozen, though. Damn.
Look like they're in a trance.
That is really frustrating to me. Can you hear it? Can you hear the movie?
Some eyewitnesses
Maybe it will
tell us of
unfreeze.
victims who look as though they had been torn apart. This whole ghastly story began developing 2 days ago with the report
The
of the slaying of a family
audio Is it? Oh, he just found the gun. Yo, for real, am I about to pause this? Somebody tell me it's better before I pause this, please. Pause it. Shit. All right. I put it on pause. I'm just going to rewind it just a smidgen. Oh, is that annoying? Damn. All right, ready? Ben's boarding the door. Okay, good. Ready? I'm going to press play. Sorry, guys. I do the best with what I got. I'm so sorry. Ready? Is it playing? You should see Ben smoking a cigarette. We don't know what kind of murder-happy characters we have here. So sorry, guys. So far, the only descriptions, the only clues, my little engine. I really need a new computer, man. It unfroze right when I paused it. All right, now it's good. And what does he find? Look, shoes. He's like, I don't need the shoes. Maybe for Barbara. Shoes. This shoes roll. This shoes suck. Boom! There we go, the rifle. Winchester action, that's what he needed. He's like, fuck yeah. Jackpot. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your patience. He's like, I got some ammo. I got my gun. Yeah, baby. Feels better now.
Southeastern portion of Texas. Similar killings have been reported around the Houston and Galveston areas, but nothing like.
I found a gun and some bullets out there.
He's all stoked.
It was only late yesterday.
Oh, and these.
Became clear we were facing some kind of national emergency.
A peace offering. He brings her shoes. It's nice.
Newsmen and law enforcement agencies the opinion
this place is boarded up pretty solid now.
in nature. However,
We got to be all right here for a while.
Yeah, badass. Ben just got more badass. I agree.
Bullets, food, and the radio.
They're doing pretty well, all things considered.
Bound to come and get us out.
Creatures from outer space. So again, we join with law enforcement agencies, urging you to seek shelter in a building. Lock the doors and windows securely.
Hey, that's us. We're doing all right.
Exactly. She's out of it, man. She's checked out for the next little bit of the
Look,
movie.
I don't know if you're hearing me.
Until she
But I'm
redeems
going
herself.
upstairs now. If anything should try to break in here, I can hear it from up there, and I'll be down to take care of it. Everything is all right for now. I'll be back to reinforce the windows and doors later.
No,
But
it
you'll be all
can't
right
be
for
frozen.
now, okay?
Look at the light that's on her eyes.
Okay.
Civil defense officials in Cumberland have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured
I mean, how do you
by their murderers.
say dialogue that convincing? Oh, shit. Guys, I need someone besides Wednesday to confirm this. Is it frozen again? There she is. He's taking care of the corpse upstairs. The music doesn't fit here, though. I mean, it's a little, like, sad, but I love that banister, man.
Consistent reports from witnesses to the
Zenith,
affected
baby.
people who acted as though they were in a kind of trance were killing and eating their victims, prompted
Has it been
authorities to
ridiculously
examine the bodies
choppy?
of some of the victims.
Look at the
Authorities
light
in
on her
Cumberland
on her
have
eyes.
concluded that in all cases, killers
just skipping a
are
bit.
eating
Damn.
the flesh of the people they murdered.
Sorry,
Repeating
guys.
this latest bulletin just received moments ago from Cumberland, Maryland, civil defense authorities have told newsmen
Look at the way that it
murder
cuts back and
victims
forth on
show
her
evidence
as
of
it
having
zooms
been
in. It's
partially
zooming in on
devoured
both of them
by
at
their
the same
murderers.
time.
Medical
Pretty
examination
cool.
of victims' bodies shows conclusively that the killers are eating the
Look at
flesh
that.
of the people they kill.
How do you sell something like
And
that?
so
The
this
killers are
incredible
eating
story
flesh.
becomes more ghastly with each report. It's difficult to imagine such a thing actually happening, but these are the reports we have been receiving and passing on to you. Reports which have been verified as completely as is possible in this confused situation.
It is what it is, guys.
It is happening, and it would appear that no one is safe from this wave of mass murder.
And there we go. There's Tom, Judy, Harry, Helen, Cooper's. Look at him.
We're from town.
A radio.
That's still choppy. Oh, it's not killing the movie. Okay. All right.
No further details available at this time. However,
How you guys down there? I could use some help up here.
That's the cellar. It's the safest place.
You mean you didn't hear the racket we were making up here?
How are we supposed to know what was going on? Could have been those things for all we knew.
He's such a dick.
That girl was screaming. Sure, you must know what a girl's screaming sounds like. Those things don't make any noise. Anybody would know somebody ever needed help.
Look, it's kind of hard to hear what's going on from down there.
We thought we could hear screams, but for all we knew, that could have meant those things were in the house afterward.
He's such a good actor, man, and he's not an actor at all.
The racket sounded like the place was being ripped apart. How were we supposed to know what was going on?
Now, wait a minute. You just got finished saying you couldn't hear from down there. Now you say it sounded like the place was being ripped apart. It would be nice if you get your story straight.
Right,
man.
Jessica? I hate him
now
too.
You tell me. I'm not going to take that kind of a chance when we got a safe place. We come to a safe place, and you're telling us we got to risk our lives just because somebody might need help, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
All
I
right,
mean, this is the type of mentality. This is what gets.
Okay, we're
This
here.
is what creates the end.
Now I suggest we all go back
He's
downstairs
so greedy.
before any of those things find out we're in here.
He's just, you know what it is? He's self-seeking. He's so concerned with his own well-being and the well-being of the people within his
The cellar's the
vicinity.
safest place.
I'm telling you, they can't get in here.
And I'm telling you, those things turned over our car. We were damn lucky to get away at all. Now you tell me those things can't get through this lousy pile of wood?
His wife and kids downstairs. The kid's hurt.
And Tom is like Switzerland. He's just so neutral. He tries to be liked by everybody.
Everything up, Mr. Cooper.
With all of us working, we could fix this place up in no time. We have everything we need up here.
We can take all that stuff downstairs with us. Man, you're really crazy, you know that? You got 1 million windows up here. All these windows, you're gonna make them strong enough to keep these things out, huh?
I told you those things don't have any strength. I smashed 3 of them and pushed another one out the door.
Did you hear me when I told
And now
you
we
they turned
have
over our car?
arguing over ideologies.
That's my
Whose
point.
ideology
Well, there's
is
not
more
gonna be 5
superior?
or even 10. There's gonna be 20, 30, maybe 100 of those things. And as soon as they
Safety
know we're here, this place is
versus
gonna be crawling.
defense versus offense.
They'll probably get us wherever we are.
Pragmaticism versus
The cellar.
pragmaticism.
The cellar, there's only one door, right? Just one door, that's all we have to protect. Tom and I fixed it so
You
it
just need to
locks and
protect
boards
one
from the
door.
inside.
We should
But up
protect
here, all
multiple
these
doors.
windows, why, we'd never know where they were going to hit us next.
I mean, this is
got a
how
point, Mr.
divides
Cooper.
form.
But down in the cellar,
Society
there's no place
breaks
to run
down
to.
because
I mean,
everybody,
if they did get in,
you know,
there'd be no back exit.
everybody
We'd be
has
done
to
for.
live and die by their convictions.
We can get
you
out
know?
of here if we have to. And
No
we got
one
windows
has
to
an
see what's
open
going on
mind.
outside. But down there with no windows, if a rescue party did come, we wouldn't even know it.
But the cellar is
Tom
the
makes sense,
strongest
you know?
place.
The cellar is a death trap.
I don't know, Mr. Cooper. I think he's right. You know how many's out there?
And pretty soon he's going to be eaten.
6 or 7.
Look, you two can do whatever you like. I'm going back down to
I
the
would love to
cellar,
do this for
and
Dawn
you
of the
better
Dead.
decide, 'cause I'm gonna board up that
I
door,
most certainly
and I'm
would.
not
There
gonna
are
lie
versions
again,
of
no
it
matter what
on
happens.
YouTube already. I would have no problem
No, I'm
doing
not gonna
it.
wait.
We'll see
I
what
made
happens.
my
Yeah.
decision, now you make yours.
Let's see how
Now,
this.
wait a
Let's
minute.
see how this one
Let's
plays
think about
out.
this. We can make it to
I
the
would love
cellar
to do
if
Dawn
we
of the
have
Dead.
to. And if we do decide to stay down there, we'll need some things from up here. So let's at least
Look,
consider
now it's
this
like
a while.
two nations, right? Establishing a trade route.
If you box yourself in this cellar and those things get in the house, you've had it. At least up here you have a fighting chance.
And that's the mentality. At least up here we have a fighting chance.
Yeah, it looks like about 8 or 10 out there now.
There's more than there were. There are a lot out back, too.
That Dan Aykroyd radio. Oh no. Crimson Ghost, that'd be fun. Look at those hands, they're so greedy. They just want food. Look at the fingers getting chopped. This is such a good scene.
no music. Little music. Swells.
Harry?
You like that, Robbie? Those greedy hands?
It's all right.
Wow. See, the music isn't right here either. I'd say it's one of the blemishes. Not the music, but the cues themselves, like the way that George decided to put them. That one works. Another great shot. Whoa, ooh, tushy. Like, listen, we need you to walk around naked. Look at the way that the light reflects on them. That's Helen Cooper. She also played this zombie. We haven't seen her yet in the movie, but that's Harry's wife.
We gotta fix these boards.
You're crazy. Those things are going to be at every window and door in this place. We've got to get down into the cellar.
Go down in that damn cellar. Get out of here!
Get out of here.
I'm taking the girl with me.
You leave her here. Keep your hands off her. And everything else that's up here, too. Because if I stay
That's
up
right,
here,
Jessica.
I'm fighting
All
for everything up
library
here. The radio
music.
and the food is part of what I'm fighting for. Now, if you're going down the
Yeah,
cellar,
that
get
was
it.
John. So John Russo did the 30th anniversary edition. We added new scenes and new music, and yes, it is an abomination for sure. Terrible.
You going down there with him?
Well,
Yes or no? This is
That
your
had to do
last
with
chance. No beating
copyright
around
stuff.
the
They were
bush.
trying to like. They've
Listen, I got
for
a kid
years
down
till
there.
2017.
She can't
They've been trying to
I couldn't bring her
regain
up here. She
control of
can't
this film,
possibly
and
take
they
all the
still
racket,
don't have
those-
full control
Those
of
things
it.
smashing through the windows.
Well, you
But the irony is that's how
You're
so many
stupid
people
enough to
saw
go
it.
die in
That's
that
what
trap.
made it
That's
so
your business.
famous.
However, I am not stupid enough to follow you. It
We're
is
missing
tough
some
for
good
the kid that
dialogue
old
here, I'm
man is so
sorry.
stupid. Now, you get the hell down in the cellar. You can be the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
That's what it comes down to. Bottom line, you're the boss down there. I'm the boss up here. We can't get along. So now we're gonna have two separate factions.
Mr. Cooper, with your help, we could...
With my help.
Let him go, man. His mind is made up. Just let him go.
He wants to
Wait a
stay
minute.
down there.
Judy, come on up here, honey.
There we go. We meet Judy, the girlfriend. I love the director's cut of Dawn of the Dead.
Gonna let them get her too, huh?
It's all right.
Theatrical's great too, though. Both of them are worm food. Now this isn't in the farmhouse. This is now in the
Together,
basement
man.
of
We
Latent
can
Image.
fix it up real good.
Image 10.
There's lots of places we can run to up here. Mr.
Because there's
Cooper,
no basement in that
we'd all be a lot
cellar.
better off.
There's no basement in
All
that
three of us
house.
were working together.
Me too, man. I'm the boss up here. You're the boss down
kid.
there. Young kids, soon to
He's
be
wrong, you know.
barbecue.
I'm not boxing myself in down there.
Now, if they had just worked together, his strategy would work.
Well, we're safe now. It's boarded up tight.
Yo-yos.
What about Tom and Judy?
They want to stay up there, let them.
I hurt.
They're
That's his actual daughter.
upstairs.
His daughter.
We heard you screaming.
She's
Yeah, but I
his
didn't know
real
who they
daughter
were,
in
and I
real
wasn't
life.
about to take any unnecessary chances.
Of course not, Harry.
Propped up on a door.
Is she all right?
I don't know what it is.
I hurt.
She feels warm. Maybe it's shock.
Oh my God, I want a cigarette.
Where'd you get the bandage?
Some laundry in a basket. I tore a sheet.
Let them
He's the
stay
boss down
upstairs.
there.
Let them.
He's so happy with
How
himself.
many ways those monsters can get up there?
It's just all about being right. He would rather be right than
We'll
survive.
see when they come begging me to let them in down here.
That's important, isn't
See,
it?
we just saw her eating a
To be
roach
right, everybody else to be
as a
wrong.
zombie
What do you mean by
outside.
that?
Does anyone up there know why we're being attacked?
Whatever it is,
It's so, I love that. I love that this is not a part of the house and that this is somewhere else.
Radio said to stay inside.
Radio?
Radio upstairs.
She's like,
I heard
shit,
the
they got a
news.
radio?
There's a
Let's go
radio
the fuck
upstairs?
upstairs.
You boarded us in down here?
I know what I'm doing.
What did it say?
I know what I'm doing. Did you hear that?
They don't know anything yet. There's mass murder everywhere, and people are supposed to look for a safe place to hide.
Take the boards off that door.
Take the boards off that door.
Down here, Helen.
We know who
Harry,
wears the
that
pants in
radio
this
is at least
family.
some kind of communication. If the authorities know what's happening, well, they'll send people for us so they tell us what to do. How are we going to know what's going on if we lock ourselves in this
I mean,
dungeon?
he just, it's about ignorance, you know? Pure ignorance. I know what to do. Let's stay down there. Even though they have a radio and they have a link to the outside world and information.
We may not enjoy living together, but dying together isn't going to solve anything.
We may not enjoy living together,
Those people
but
are our
dying
enemies.
together isn't going to solve anything. That's true, Jessica. Her pants are not as high.
Let's go up. Tom? Yeah. If Judy would come downstairs for a few minutes, Harry and I could come upstairs.
Okay, yeah, right away.
She has to speak for him because he can't do it. He's too proud.
Do I have to? Look, honey, nothing's gonna get done with them down there and us up here. Do this for me.
Okay.
And Tom is such a
Open up.
such a Switzerland. They open it up. Cinemagic. Look at that. And now transported to a different location. So great. Be safe, carpetbagger.
Take good care of her, Helen.
We just finished with the storm.
She's all I have.
Ready? I heard.
Why don't you go upstairs now?
Come on, say it. Is it here? No, never mind. Damn it. Look at him. He's just pure male insecurity, fragile male ego.
Her brother was killed.
Hey, give me a hand with this thing.
I gotta go help Ben with the television.
There's a television? She's out of her mind right now on the couch. Like, make small talk with the strange woman on the couch. Everybody smokes. Smoking is cool. I love her chin dimple. It's so cute. I'm a big fan of chin dimples on girls. I don't know why.
I'm Helen Cooper, Harry's wife.
I find it endearing. Look at the way she holds her cigarette.
This place is ridiculous. Look at this. There's a million weak spots up here.
Look at this. Look at this. It didn't help at all. Give me a smoke. Didn't help board everything up at all, and he's going to criticize the board work. Look at the way he lit that match. He's so great, dude. He's like the best character in the movie. I mean, I love Ben, but Harry's my
I can't
favorite.
see a damn thing. There could be 50 million of those things out there.
Chin
That's how much good
nipples.
these windows are.
Chin dimples.
Why don't you do something to help somebody?
Right? She's the voice of reason.
Here I have.
Oh,
Drag a
the
couple of those
TV
chairs
set.
together.
There's a sign.
All right, check this out. This is really cool. So this is optical printing here. This is a
You
special
better
effect.
watch this and try to understand what's going
They
on.
didn't actually watch the broadcast through the TV.
Is there anything I can do?
I don't want to hear you.
Yeah, the $1 off
If you
coupon,
stay
right?
up here, you take orders from me, and that includes leaving the girl alone.
It's on, it's on.
Ben is also has this need to be in control. but it comes from a better place.
Are not the results
A
of
more,
mass hysteria.
what's the word I'm looking for?
hysteria. What do they think? We're
Enlightened
imagining
place.
all this? Shut up!
Shut up.
In all parts of the country. The wave of murder which is sweeping the eastern third of the nation is being committed by creatures who feast upon.
So that's an
the flesh
optical
of their
printing
victims.
special effect right there.
First eyewitness accounts of this.
They didn't have
grisly
any way to
development
play that
came from
back
people who
and
were
then film it
understandably
with the
frightened,
cameras that they had.
almost incoherent.
So
Officials
that's like a
and
composite process that's done in post-production,
there was eyewitness description
where you
as being
project
beyond
one
belief.
effect onto
However,
some more film
reports
and
persisted.
composite them
Medical
together.
simulations of some of the victims
I
bore
can't
out
even
the fact
explain
that
the
they had
process,
been
but
partially devoured. I think we have some late word just arriving.
the report is so
To
convincing.
bring this to you.
They could say anything, like literally that the dead are coming back to life, and you'd believe it. It makes it feel like a docudrama. You feel like you're watching an actual natural disaster occur in the 60s. You know?
And committing acts of murder. A widespread investigation of reports from funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals.
You're just
has
trying to
concluded
figure
that
out
the
what's going on.
unburied dead are coming back to life and seeking human victims. It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does
I mean,
seem to
give
be.
that dude an Academy Award.
When this emergency first began, radio and television was advising
He's
people
just
to
so
stay
believable.
inside, behind locked doors for safety. Well, that situation has now changed. We're able to report a definite course of action for you. Civil defense machinery has been organized to provide rescue stations with food,
Rescue
shelter,
stations, that
medical
becomes a
treatment,
big thing
and
in Dawn of the
protection
Dead
by
at the
armed
beginning.
National Guardsmen. Stay tuned to the broadcasting stations in your local area for this list
Youngstown.
of rescue stations. This list will be repeated
Willard.
throughout our news coverage. Look for the name of the rescue station
I remember that name,
nearest
Willard.
you, and make your way to that location as soon as
What I always wondered, what is
We
a
have that
rescue
truck.
station
We can get some
exactly?
gas, we can get out of here.
There's a pump out by the shed.
I know
Like,
that's
how
why
do
I
they
pulled in
rescue
here, but
you?
it's
Where
locked.
do you go from
This
there? Is it just a
afternoon
safe
by the
place to hold up?
Since convening this conference of the Presidential Cabinet, the FBI, the Joint Chiefs of Staff,
Now,
CIA,
right around this
produced any
time
public
of the
information.
rescue stations, that's where we
Why
meet
are space experts being
the
consulted
SWAT
about an
guys in
earthbound
Dawn of the Dead.
emergency? So far, all the betting on the answer to
I
that
agree,
question centers
Carpetbagger.
on the
Might as
recent
well be a
Explorer
Walter Cronkite.
satellite.
I love, by the way, that we have somebody from New Zealand and somebody
That
from
satellite,
Nova
you
Scotia,
recall, started back
Canada,
to Earth, but never
both
got
watching this stream at the same
That's
time.
the space vehicle which
It's
orbited
freaking
Venus
awesome to
and
me.
then was purposely destroyed by NASA when scientists discovered
Look,
it was carrying a
Indiana.
mysterious
I mean, this thing is
high-level
all
radiation
over.
with it. Could that radiation be somehow responsible for the wholesale murders
I mean,
we're now
the
suffering?
worst part of it, it's not like, oh, the dead were coming back to life. It's the radiation from the
Tommy,
Venus
it's our
probe,
best
like the
move
most
to try to get out of
unnecessary
here.
element.
How are you
It's the
gonna get
most
over that
dated
problem?
element in this entire film. This film is timeless. Look, there's George Romero. That's the director of the film and the writer of the film right there.
That was the subject of the meeting.
In the
Connection between this and the phenomenon.
black,
There's a
with the
definite
microphone
connection.
holding it up.
Definite connection. In other words, you feel that the radiation on the Venus probe is enough to
Right
cause-
there, the guy
cause these
interviewing.
mutations?
There was a very high degree of radiation. Just a minute. I'm not sure.
On the, I guess, my left, you're right.
Explanation that we have at this time.
In other words, it was
Fucking
the
George,
military
baby.
viewpoint that the radiation is not
That's
the cause of
George
the
right there.
I can't speak for the entire military.
And
at
that
this time,
microphone is what they're using to record the sound for this scene. It's so brilliant.
Until this is irrefutably proved.
Yeah, Dave, Florida.
Being done that can't be done.
Day of the Dead turf.
Professor, you feel that there is a definite connection between the...
It's so brilliant. Look at that. They got a shot of Washington, D.C. in the background. It's super blown out.
Was the satellite... When the
And then they
satellite
just
was
walked in
exploded,
front of the monument. I mean, it's just so brilliant, man.
to cause mutation under certain
To
circumstances.
make this film feel so much bigger than what it is. Let's just drive down to D.C. and we'll just shoot this little scene, you know? Yes, yes, John, that is George. We got Missouri in the house.
There will be a report this afternoon.
Perhaps there will be a report.
Isn't that great?
We are doing
The ingenuity, man. The little flags.
Got some further explanation of this.
We've heard all we need to know. We have to try
Got
to get out of
Georgia.
here.
He said the rescue stations have doctors and medical supplies. If we could get Karen there, we could get help for her.
Romero is one of the world's foremost authorities.
Blairsville. So that's why you want to go to a rescue station. There it is, Willard!
I saw a sign that said
Willard
It's only
forever!
about 17 miles from here.
You know this area. You from around here?
Judy and I are both from around here. We were on our way up to the lake to go swimming. And Judy had a radio, and we heard the first reports about this. So we knew the old house was here, and we came in and found the lady upstairs dead.
Wow.
Then these other people came. We went down into the basement. And
That's the
put a
last
bar
day
across
that you're
the
going to
door,
be
and it is
alive.
pretty strong.
How could we possibly get away from here? We've got a sick child, 2 women, 1 woman
Oh.
on her head, 3 men.
Oh, you have
and
2
the place is
women.
surrounded.
Oh my goodness, what a handicap.
Dr. Grimes,
Harry
their
Cooper.
entire staff
Harry
knows
Cooper.
they've been working very hard to find some solution to
Really virtuous there. We got 2 women. How are we going to move?
Yes, we have some answers. But first, let me stress the importance of seeking
Look
medical
at
attention
the
for
clocks.
anyone who's been
Oh,
injured in
Beaver
any
Falls,
way.
baby.
We don't know
You see the
yet,
Beaver
what
Falls?
complications might result from such injuries.
How bad has your kid been hurt?
She was bitten by one of those things.
Look, you go down there and tell, Judy? Yeah, you tell Judy to come up here and you stay with the kid, all right?
Look at him, just calling the shots, man. Like a boss.
At the university, we had a cadaver from which all 4 limbs had been amputated. Sometime
He's
early
talking,
this morning,
he's describing to us verbally something so grisly, a cadaver with all 4 arms amputated. But they don't have the money to show us that. So they're just going to tell it to us and we're going to imagine it.
They want you upstairs. Did she ask for me?
She hasn't
There it is. I hurt.
I don't understand.
Baby. It's Mommy.
I hurt.
I'll come
And
back
I'm
down
going
as
to
soon as
eat
I find
you
out what they want.
after I stab you with a
Thank you, Judy.
trowel.
the body should be
Oh,
disposed
Wednesday
of at once,
is in the
preferably
UK.
by cremation.
Well, how long after death, then, does the body become reactivated?
It's only a matter of minutes.
Minutes? Well, that doesn't give people time
Matter
to
of
make any
minutes.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't give them time to make
I mean, just
funeral
having these names
Bodies
like
must be
flash
carried
on the
to the
screen,
street
it's so brilliant.
and burned.
By
They
the
must be
way,
burned immediately.
I could
Soak
talk
them with
just as much
gasoline
about
and
Dawn
burn
of the
them.
Dead as I could talk about this
The
movie.
bereaved will have
No
to
joke,
forego
hands down.
the dubious comforts that a funeral service will give.
Oh my God, imagine if
They're
we did
just
Return of the Living
flesh
Dead.
and dangerous.
Well, we tried.
Judy, I need you to find some bedspreads or sheets to tear up into small strips, okay?
We tried with
Is there a fruit cellar here?
Yes.
We need some bottles and jars. Make Molotov cocktails.
Droids
Hold
in
them off while we
South
try to escape.
Dakota.
Hey, there's a big can of kerosene down there.
I'll see what I can
Ooh,
find.
kerosene.
I'll
That's
look
going
for
to
the
come in
bottles.
handy.
There's a big key ring down there. There may be a key to the gas pump on it.
I'll check.
George Romero, as
You
we
can toss the
described
cocktails
earlier,
from the
he would
window upstairs.
remedy that with
Meantime, a couple of
a
us can go out
great
and try to
sense of
get the
irony.
gas. You can come back for the rest
Tony
of the people.
Todd as Ben
That'll
when he
leave the door
finds the
open
gas
someplace.
pump key.
Yeah, that's right. It better be this door. It's closer to the truck. Before we go out, we'll put some supplies
See,
behind
I don't know
the
about you
cellar
guys.
door while
I
we're on
feel
rest
the
of
racial
people hold up
tension
in there.
between the two
I
of
found
them.
some fruit jars in the cellar. And there's a key on here that's labeled for the gas pump out back.
I'm not really that used to the truck. I found it abandoned.
I can handle the truck, no sweat.
A plan is coming together. They're
You
going to
ready,
attempt
then?
to work
You and I'll
together.
go.
If they can just get to the gas pump and get gas in the car, they
We'll
can
put
get out
whatever
of here.
lumber we find behind the cellar door.
Even Harry Cooper's on
You
board.
can go upstairs and toss the cocktails from a window. Tom, you and I will have
Harry's
to
okay
unboard
with
this
that.
door. After you toss the cocktails, you hustle back down here and lock this door. It's no good to board that because we'll have to get back in quickly.
He's
After we get
begrudgingly
the
willing
gas
to
and
do
get
it.
back into the house, then we'll worry about getting everybody into the truck.
Gotta get
Let's
gas in
move
the
it.
truck first. Yeah, Dave, mega fan here as well. I also visited the Monroeville Mall. There's actually, we did a walkthrough video on this channel. Check it out. As well as the Night of the Living Dead Cemetery. Oh, Goblin is great.
You always have a smile for me.
I love this tender moment right before they die. You always have a
How
smile
many
for
have
me.
done?
He's making Molotov cocktails.
Come on, honey, we gotta move.
You gotta move. You gotta make them
Are you
faster.
sure about the phone?
The phone is dead out. All you get is a recorded message.
If I could only call the folks.
Imagine if they
Everyone
did
is
a
so worried
Goblin
about
score
us.
for Night of the Living Dead.
Everything will be all right. As soon as we get to Willard, we'll call them. They might even be there.
John's asking, I know it was shot in Pittsburgh, but it was placed in Pittsburgh? Stupid question. No, not a stupid question. There's never any questions that are stupid, John.
Are you sure we're doing the right thing?
This was
Tom?
actually
We're about
shot
getting out of here?
outside of Pittsburgh. It's not actually in
The television
Pittsburgh.
said that's the right thing to do.
Although the
We've got
cellar
to get to a rescue
is in
station.
Pittsburgh.
I don't know.
Come on, honey, you're starting to
It was
sound like
shot
Mr.
in a
Cooper
place
now.
called Evans City.
Why do you have to go
Well, at least
out
the
there?
cemetery was. I don't know where
I
the
know how to handle that
farmhouse
truck,
was.
and I can handle the pump.
Somewhere on the
Ben
outskirts
doesn't
of
know anything
Pittsburgh.
about that stuff.
But we're safe in here.
For how long, honey? We're safe now. But there's going to be more and more of those things.
I
mean,
know all
even if you
that.
took out the things, you could substitute things for anything. You know, that's what this movie is so malleable.
When we had the big flood. Remember how difficult
And you know what's great too? It could work as a play. I mean, they have
leave.
turned it into a play.
Remember?
But it could just be a play, a disaster that's happening on the outside of the world, and
it's not
people
like
inside
just
the house
a
who
wind passing
can't get
through.
along. You know, it's just
We've
brilliant.
got to do something, and fast.
I don't know if the newscast is from Pittsburgh.
I just don't
Maybe
want
some
you
of it
to.
is.
That's
No,
all.
some of it's from DC.
Hey.
I didn't post on Homepage of the Dead, but let me tell you something. I used to frequent the Homepage of the Dead all of the time. I used to read the fan fiction stories back in like the year 2000.
We've got work to do.
Wow, it was like 21 years ago. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Here's some fluffy character development that we don't need because these people are about to be barbecued. Barbecue. Who wants to have a barbecue? I would imagine that the newscast is from Pittsburgh, John.
We better get her downstairs.
We have to go downstairs.
Carpet,
now.
it is a stage play. They perform it as a stage play already.
She's right. You have to go downstairs now, just for a little while until we get back.
Johnny's got the keys.
Then we can all leave.
Oh, I'd like to leave. Yes.
Out of her mind. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Rightfully so. We realize PTSD. Here we go. The moment of truth.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Here it is. Tony Todd is so badass in the remake when they go outside like this. He's like drop kicking zombies and like rolling out their kicking out their legs. So great. Go. Uh-oh. Judy's like, I'm gonna go. Don't do it, Judy. The one time that Harry Cooper is not worthless. The one time he does something right. Kind of. He's gonna go with the plan. We're zombies and we just woke up out of bed.
Okay, toss 'em.
And we are dead. Here we go. Molotov, baby. Boom. It's such a what an action-packed badass scene. Yeah. I mean, again, do you see this sort of thing in movies in 1968? I don't think so. This is like some guerrilla friggin' filmmaking shit. Woo! Barbecue began a little early. Here we go. Judy makes a split-second decision that gets herself killed. So good.
I'm going with him.
Get back in the cellar.
Throws.
It's too late.
Shit. It's all bandwidth, guys. It's a bandwidth problem. Upload speeds.
Well, as you're coming, come on. Get in.
Judy, you just sealed your fate. You'll be dead in minutes. Hasn't he learned by now to get him in the head? Smart enough to use the fire. Good point, Dave. Is it? Hurry up, Howard. Look at those zombie shots, man. Oh, it blows up. I'm afraid to touch it. Look at those stunts.
keeps freezing? Damn. Alright, hold on. Should I pause? Alright, I paused it for a second. Hold on. Intermission. Do, 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 do. Are you guys enjoying the movie? Are you guys enjoying the movie? I'm enjoying this. I'm really enjoying the crap out of this. I just hate that this is how we have to watch it. Hey, Jessica, thank you so much for joining us. Awesome. Really appreciate it. I'm not going to rewind. I promise, Rue. All right, ready? I'm going to press play. Keep your fingers crossed. Let's hope. Tell me it's back. Yes, it's back. Okay. Got to make that gas pump work.
Come on! This key won't work. Watch it.
I mean, what a... Why would you shoot it, man? It's not back to normal. Decides to help him after hesitating. But Ben is not having any of it. He's so done with this dude. He's like, fuck you, man. He's like, as soon as we secure this door, I'm gonna beat your ass. You know, isn't it truly a double cross though? I don't think he double crossed him. He was scared. Well, he's pissed, rightfully so. Beat his ass. Beat his ass. He's like, you left us out there. You left me out there. Show him what for.
Drag you out there and feed you those
Sure should. Look at him. Harry Cooper has now been reduced to his most just base form. Just like the fragile male ego, pure cowardice. Oh boy. Hungry. Is anybody else hungry right now? They use real organs. This scene, along with a few others, like This is what, this movie is the reason why we have rated R movies. Kids went to this film not knowing what they were going to see. Speaking of, would you show this to kids? Imagine kids in the 60s watching this. Look at them fighting over intestines. Make no mistake. Eating a liver. There are very few films that depict cannibalism like this. Just eating remains. He's like, oh my God. Tom and Judy are just on the menu. Even today, it's still savages, man.
Isn't it 3 o'clock yet? There's supposed to be another broadcast at 3 o'clock.
10 minutes.
Oh, only 10 more minutes? We don't have very long to wait.
Oh,
We can
Johnny's.
leave.
Johnny's got the keys.
Oh, we better leave soon.
I'm gonna leave soon.
It's 10 minutes to 3.
10 minutes to 3. Damn, don't tell
You
me
know
it's still
anything about this
frozen.
area at all?
That's a long ass
Is
time
Willard
ago.
the nearest town?
I don't know.
Someone confirm, is it still frozen?
We were just trying to get to a motel before dark.
You said those things turned your car over. You think we can get back on its wheels and drive it? Where is it?
Seems like it was pretty far away. Seems like we ran.
Forget it. It's at least a mile.
Johnny
He's
has
so
the keys.
his ego is
You're
so
gonna carry that
battered
child
and
a mile
bruised.
Through that army of things
He-
out
he-
there.
It's funny, he doesn't want the
What's wrong
gun
with
necessarily to
us?
be in control. It's like he's doing it
One
for
of
his
those
own
things
ego,
grabbed her.
to nurse
Put her in
his
the arm.
ego
What's wrong?
for a lot of reasons.
Knows what kind of
A
disease
lot
those
of
things
reasons.
carry.
Look at the subtext.
Is she conscious?
Ugh, I hate that it freezes up. It's so
She can't
frustrating
walk.
to me.
She's too weak.
Really, really frustrating.
Well, one of us could try to get to the car.
You gonna turn it over by yourself?
You can't start the car. Johnny has the keys.
Johnny has the keys.
You have a car? Where? Where is it?
You won't be able to start it.
Yeah, I know. But where is it?
Uh-oh. Right, he got punked out in front of his wife. Exactly.
Good Lord.
He's like, oh my God, are they eating people? Pretty soon, I'm gonna be eaten by my daughter.
Being monitored closely by scientists at all the radiation detection stations. At this hour, they
And this
report
is
the
where
level
just
of the mysterious
their
radiation
civilization,
continues
their
to increase
society
steadily. So
in
long
the
as this
house
situation
is just
remains,
completely breaks down.
government spokesman warned that dead bodies will continue to be transformed into the flesh-eating
Tom and
ghouls.
Judy are
All
gone.
persons who die during this crisis,
Their daughter is sick.
whatever cause,
He
come
needs
back
that
to life
gun.
to seek human victims unless
He
their
wants it.
bodies
Just
are
now, he
first
kind of
disposed
walked
of
towards
by
him, behind him, and
cremation.
he's like, can I
Our
get
news
that gun?
cameras have just returned from covering such a search and destroy operation against
Cannonsburg.
the ghouls. This one conducted by Sheriff Conan McClellan in Butler County, Pennsylvania. So now let's go to that film report. All law enforcement agencies and the military have been organized to search out and destroy the marauding ghouls.
Look at that.
The Survival Command
All
Center
of
at
that
the Pentagon
is
has
just
disclosed that a ghoul
ingenuity.
can be
Let's
killed
get a bunch of people
by a
together.
shot
They got
in the
actual
head
police
or a
people
heavy
down
blow
there.
to the skull.
We're gonna
Officials
meet
are
the
quoted
sheriff,
explaining that since
who
the brain
actually
of a
was in
ghoul
charge
has
of all
been
the guns on the
activated by
set.
the radiation, the plan is kill the brain.
George,
and you kill
George
the
something. I forget his name. That guy.
Anything from the supply wagon, cuz.
Get the ghoul, get the
no,
brain,
all right.
get the brain, get the ghoul.
Hey, Cass, put that thing all the way in the fire. We don't want it getting up again.
He was the guy who.
how's everything going? Oh, things
That's
aren't going
Chili
too
Billy,
bad. Men
I
are
think.
taking it pretty good. You want to get on the other side of the road?
This
over
feels
there?
so real to me.
Do you think we'll be able to defeat these things? Well, we killed 19 of them today right in this area. Those last three
They're
we
dead.
caught
They're all
trying to
messed
claw
up.
their way into an abandoned shed. They must have thought somebody was in
I mean,
it.
this feels so real. It feels like a
We heard
real
them making
interview.
all kind of noise. We came over and beat them off, blasted them down. Yeah, okay.
Chief, if I were surrounded by 6 or 8 of these things, would I stand a chance with them?
Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot him in the head. That's a sure way to kill him. If you don't, get
I do have
yourself a club or a
Patreon, man.
torch. Beat 'em or burn
All
'em.
at the
Make
bottom
it
of the
pretty
screen.
easy.
Well, Chief McClellan, how long do you think it will take
Patreon. You can buy a coffee if you're enjoying this
Well, that's
content.
pretty hard to say. We don't know how many
You
of
can do the
them there are.
Patreon. You
When
can
we
buy a
find 'em, we
T-shirt.
kill 'em.
All sorts of stuff.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
I agree, Dave.
Yeah, they're dead.
Totally
They're
superb acting.
all messed up.
Well, in time, would you say
If
you
this
ought
is
to
your
be
first
able to wrap
time with
up
us,
in
please
24
consider
hours?
subscribing to the channel.
Well, we don't really
We do
know.
this
We know
all
we'll
the
be
time.
into it most of the night, probably
This is
into
my
the early
job.
morning.
This is
We're
how I
working
make
our
money
way
right
toward
now.
Willard, and we'll team up with the National Guard over there, and then we'll be able to give a more definite view.
Thank you very much, Chief McClellan. This is Bill Cardell, WI.
Bill Cardell. Now, his daughter, Lori, she plays Sarah in Day of the Dead.
Just how long it may take to kill off
Thank you,
all
Carpet.
flesh eaters, so long as the heavy rain.
Oh, boy.
Is the fuse box in the cellar?
I don't know.
And now she's going to be in Night of Living Dead 2, by the way. My friend Marcus is directing that.
It isn't the fuse.
He's going to be on the show. Keep your eyes
Lines are
peeled.
down.
Yeah, smash that like button, everybody.
That gun.
Haven't you had enough?
Look, 2 people are dead already on account of
He
that
needs to
guy.
get that gun. I need to get that gun, Helen.
That window.
Oh, no. Fires are out. They're hungry for more. We need more food. Boom. Boom. Chaos in the darkness. Vandals. Look, he's gonna go for the gun. Forget about helping anybody. Forget about keeping the dead out of the house. I need that gun. So powerful. In the face of disaster, in the face of annihilation, I'm only concerned with being in control, and I need the gun. This is what makes Night of the Living Dead so brilliant. There's my chance. I'm a giant loser, giant coward. I need that gun. You know what's funny? It's not what Harry does, it's what he doesn't do.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You want to stay up here now? Get the cellar.
He's just drunk with power.
Get the cellar now. Move.
Boom. That's what's funny. Nothing that he does is meant to, like, it's just all non-action. He doesn't help. He takes the gun. There you go. That's the end of Harry Cooper. And the end of Helen. Sort of. I love this scene, man. I always thought this was brilliant. She's about to be taken. I mean, they're just, their whole little society is crumbling. Harry's dead. Helen's being pulled by the zombies. You know? He's just trying to get to his daughter. She's dead too. Look at those stark shadows, man. It's just so grim. It's such a grim movie, man. Whew. Hey, thank you, Dave. Appreciate you, man. Really do. Thank you for the tip. There you go. There's the cemetery zombie. Look, she's about to suffer the worst fate, and then Barbara does this thing. She saves her. Oh, this is so insane, man. I mean, she gets eaten alive. What? Wait a minute. We missed... Where's Johnny? Am I crazy? Did it just jump?
Oh, baby. Baby.
Here we go. One of the most fucked up scenes in any movie. What other movie has this in 1968? I got spiders in my hair. That's what it sounds like. I have spiders in my hair. My daughter is stabbing me to death. How fucked up is that? She brought you into this world and you're taking her out of it. Wow. Just absolutely, like, grim. Dead, reanimated daughter. Oh, that's right, she's still alive. Right, now Johnny's gonna come. But she saves Helen for nothing. And now it's just down to the original two, right? We started the movie with them and we're gonna end it with them. There he is, Johnny. You came back, Johnny. And you're hungry. As much as I love the remake ending and that they turn her into the hero, this is so good too. Look, she gets taken, man. They eat her. There's like short stories where she survives. There's like comics where she survives, but in my mind, she doesn't survive. And now it's just Ben. Watch out, Ben. Behind you. I hurt. And Harry Cooper was right. I'm going to barricade myself in the door. Now, what does that say? It says that despite our differences, what you're saying is valid, and what I'm saying is valid, because everything that Ben wanted to do was valid. But at the end of the day, a contingency plan of hiding in the basement would have also been valid. Because that's ultimately what Ben has to do. He has to board himself up as a last-ditch resort, and it saves his life, for now. Or maybe it doesn't save his life. If he doesn't get boarded up, wow, oh my God, hot take, hot take. Whoa. All right, let's wait for the movie to finish. I'm gonna blow my own mind. Wow. I didn't even think of this. This blew my mind just now. Will it hold? Now we know what happens in the remake. He finds the gas pump key, and he laughs, succumbs to his injuries, and Barbara takes him out. Now he has one more showdown. Look, his whole arm is missing. She was eating his arm and his liver. Boom. Happy to do that one, right, Ben? Then he takes out Helen. It's like, what the fuck did I get myself into? There she is. Take her out. There's nothing left to do. He loses his mind. I love this little snippet. Even in the basement, he's still trying to figure out, what can I do? How can I get out of here? Look at him. He's putting something together. In his mind, at least. Just sit and wait. They've taken over the house, and this is a theme in every Romero film. The dead always win. They always take over the world because the humans can't figure out how to settle things. Here it is. One of the most fucked up endings in the entire history of all of cinema, in my opinion. Dawn rises. The night is over. It does give you a little sense of like optimism. They leave it so open-ended in that way. helicopter. Here you go. You got the good old boys. Good old boys got their pea shooters. Everybody's deputized. Creepy music. You know they didn't pay for that helicopter. That's a favor right there, and it makes their movie look like $1 million. Everybody was willing to help out. We had the police. So awesome. I mean, just it looks like we're watching newsreel footage. That's right. Dave is right. It was a temporary victory before the dawn. Yes, carpet. It was Flyboy. Love it.
We want to go check it out. You still here, Bill?
Yeah, Chief, we're going to stay with it till we meet up with the National Guard.
Where'd you get
Chili Bill.
One of the volunteers.
As you said, his daughter, Lori, she would go on to play Sarah in Day of the Dead.
About 3 or 4 more hours, we'll probably get into Willard then. I guess you can go over there. And
He's such a great character, the sheriff.
Nick, you and the rest of these men want to come with me?
Well, Bill, I'm checking the office, see what's happening. All right, Steve, tell him we're going to stay with it, and everything appears to be under control.
He was the host of Chiller Theater. The dogs. Here we go. Ben survived the night. It's really upsetting, though. I mean, it really is. It's such an upsetting movie. Such an upsetting ending. So bleak. We get through all of that, only for him to be killed. Spoilers! 53-year-old film. No police there to help him. So crazy.
They need you down there by the barn.
Ben thinks that help has come for him. And the reality is death has come for him.
Somebody had a cookout here, Vince.
Yeah, sure looks like it, Cal.
My God. It's just so tragic. I remember the first time watching this ending and just thinking, my God. Even at 10 years old, it fucked me up. I was like, nobody fucking lives? You know what the sad thing is, Carpet? Who knows if that would have helped him? Survived all that shit.
He's a dead one. Get up here.
Now watch what he says.
Nick, Tony, Steve, you want to get out in that field and build me a bonfire?
It's another one for the bonfire. Whoa, crazy party last night.
You drag that out of here and throw it on the fire. Nothing back here. All right, go ahead down and give him a hand.
He's so good in that role.
There's something there. I heard a noise.
How could you not?
All right, Vince, hit him in the head, right between the eyes.
Oh. Fuck, dude.
Good shot. Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him. That's another one for the fire.
Oh my God. And then this is so grisly, man. Look at those pictures. They just look so real to me. So grisly, man. With the meat hooks. Mm. Yeah. Best comment of the fucking night. Damn it, man. Ben rules. Fuck yeah, he does. I know. Isn't it a drag, dude? Isn't it a drag? All right, we're going to talk about it, though. We're going to talk about this ending for a minute. Oh, God. Look at that. It just looks like... That's Gary Striner. He was the sound man. And he's Russ Striner's brother. Mark Ricci, that's Rudy Ricci's brother. you'll know Rudy Ricci is one of the 3 guys with a story by credit for Return of the Living Dead. There's Richard Ricci. That's Rudy Ricci. Very much like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It has that same gritty feel, you know? Look at that. There's the cemetery zombie got hit too. Oh, thank you, Steve. This was a lot of fun. I'm really bummed that, whatchamacallit. Look at that. You know how many times I watched this movie before I made it past the credits and saw that there was a bonfire at the end? I had no idea. The end. Woo! Ain't that a movie? That is a freaking movie and a half. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. So here's what I'd like to talk about now. The ending. You know, we spoke at the beginning about some stuff. We didn't talk about the ending, and we sort of talked about ghouls. We'll talk about that for a second as well before we wrap this whole thing up. Again, I want to apologize. That's what I was thinking. That this is the Tuesday before Halloween, right? It's October 26th. It's not like we're spending Halloween. This is not what we're doing Halloween. It's just a great build up to Halloween. That's why I wanted to do my special before Halloween. So here's the thing. And again, what I'm going to say might sound, it is political. It is political. There's no way around it. You know, what makes Night of the Living Dead so contemporary is that ending. Everything that you see in the news, no matter what you believe or don't believe, or whatever you read into or don't, whatever your political stance is or not, I'm not here to I don't want to dissect all that, but the film that was made 50 fucking years ago is the message, what happens is so... It's so scary how contemporary it is today. And that's what makes this film so timeless, because its themes are not limited to the era that it comes from. These are deep, universal themes that say a lot about a lot of different stuff, including the subtext I was talking about involving race, and you can talk about, stuff that's happened with the police brutality, whatever, all that. It's all in there, man. And that's what makes Night of the Living Dead really great. The other thing that's really important about Night of the Living Dead is here's the first film that takes Richard Matheson's I Am Legend, voodoo zombie mythology, and the idea of a ghoul, a flesh eater, and melds them all together to create a modern mythology that still, a formula that people still follow to this day. Yes, that's exactly what it is, man. The whole civil rights struggle is there. I mean, just think about it like this. You have the civil rights struggle happening at the time that this film is being made. They're making this film. They're using a black actor, but not because he's black. And there's this whole struggle over power, over, what the best thing to do is. And, does Harry Cooper really think it's the safest place to be is in the basement? Or does he not want to listen to Ben? Is that what is it? What is it about? Wow. Thank you, Old Man Chubbs. Old Man Chubbs. The best Dead channel ever. Guys, so should we do Dawn of the Dead? Even though we know the picture freezes, even though it's a pain in the ass, do we do Dawn of the Dead? That's what I want to know. You tell me. Oh, shit. Why is this happening? What else can be said about it? I mean, again, it's just a brilliant movie. It doesn't, again, the whole time, we're not so much concerned with the zombies. The zombies are the secondary, symptom to the human conflict. The human conflict is what everybody friggin' loves. You know what I mean? Not everybody loves. Oh, wow. You guys are, I guess we're going to have to do it. We'll do it. Maybe we'll do it in November or December. We'll space it out a little bit, but we'll do it. We'll definitely do it. I'll make that happen. I'll make that happen. Maybe we'll do the extended mall hours cut. Is anybody not familiar with the extended mall hours cut? Is the ultimate version of Dawn of the Dead and combines everything together, from the zombie cut with Dario Argento, the director's cut, George Romero, and the theatrical cut, which is the true director's cut in George Romero's eyes. The Cannes cut, which is also the extended cut, is the director's cut, but that was a marketing thing. What else can I say? Just that, yeah, it's right, exactly, man. It's the human conflict that causes their downfall. And you know, you will see every single dead, like, related, you know, piece of media follow this template that begins with Night of the Living Dead. Now, that's not to say that stuff didn't come before it that does that sort of thing, but this is like the first big major time that this is done. And here's another thing too, to talk about the public domain thing. You know, it's a shame that the film ended up in the public domain. It's a shame that those dudes did not get paid what was owed to them. But in a world of crooked distributors, in a world where they made, like, literally George Romero's career was made because of Night of the Living Dead ultimately, even though he languished for about 10 more years before he made Dawn of the Dead, and that's when his career really exploded. But that was all predicated on the availability of the film, and that was predicated on the public domain. That's not to say that it was right that it was in public domain. I'm just saying that because it was in public domain, every horror host played that movie on Saturdays, you know, the Saturday matinee or midnight films played, like, it played everywhere. And as a result, it was, you know, bootlegged 1,000 times on the VHS. As a result, everybody was able to see Night of the Living Dead far and wide. Had it not been in public domain, it might not be as big as it is today. That's not right. Exactly. Matthew is right. Public domain made it more accessible, which made it what it is. That is not a justification of piracy. And I'll tell you this too. I'm so glad that they finally have a print that they are in control of and that they have the copyright. They finally do. Image 10 is reformed. I own the Criterion version of this movie twice over. You should definitely buy the Criterion if you don't have it. The second disc is loaded with so many features that go even into, like, how George Romero shot the film. Like, any shot that's handheld doesn't use sound, and any shot that's on a tripod is they're recording sound. So the next time you watch Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, I forgot to mention that. Check that out. If the tripod is locked off, if it's a static still frame, that means that they're recording sound live in the movie. And if it's a handheld shot, then it's not. So, what was the last? Okay, final thing we're going to talk about before we call it a night. Popping open another brewski. It's not a brewski, it's a seltzer. Final thing we got to talk about. Something I noticed in this viewing. As I said, with films like this, you can watch it 100,000 billion times, and you're always going to find something new. For me, this time it was Johnny's polka dotted tie. I never noticed Johnny's polka dotted tie. And another thing, a notion that stuck out to me, like, it's so clear as day. I always sort of thought, oh man, Harry Cooper was right all along. That's the irony. The irony is that Ben ends up doing the thing that Harry Cooper wants him to do in the first place, which ends up getting him killed. Because here's the thing. By going in the basement, he basically shuts out the world, doesn't know what's going on, and when he comes out of the basement, he puts himself in harm's way and gets shot. Does he get shot? Here's the big question. Here's the big question for you all. And again, I don't want to get too heavy with this because it's already a dark film. Why was Ben shot? Was Ben shot because they thought he was a zombie? Or did they know that Ben was a human? And that's why it's such a contemporary film. That's why even today, I revel in the brilliance of this film, because the answer to me is quite, what's the word? Not ambidextrous. It's ambiguous, man. It's absolutely fucking ambiguous. Like, you don't know. You ultimately don't know. He says, there's one over there, and he lines up the shot. And you have absolutely no idea what he's referring to. Or you could say it's a metaphor. Is it a metaphor for... You could say it's a lot of metaphors. I better walk the fine line here, so I don't get myself into too much trouble. But here's ultimately why that's why it gets him killed. By being in the basement, he locks himself off. Now, had he stayed upstairs like he wanted to, and had he left out one of the windows when things started to get too hairy, he never would have encountered the police, or at least he wouldn't have encountered the police, the good old boys, in that kind of way. He might still be alive. Who knows? Maybe he would have eventually been overcome and been eaten alive. But he wouldn't have died in the way that he died, I think, if he hadn't gone in the basement. The only reason why he went in the basement is because Harry Cooper couldn't get with the program. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he had just gotten with the program, then they could have executed Ben's plan, and they all might have survived. But because they couldn't do that, Ben ends up in the basement, and when he hears noises upstairs, he comes upstairs and gets one between the eyes. So I don't know. I find it very interesting that Harry Cooper does get Ben killed, and going in the basement doesn't save his life. It seals his fate. It seals his fate. It's the only way out, you know? Fucking crazy. Yes, that's true. The truck fire did technically kill everything. Yeah. I mean, but you know, they still could have made it out of there. They still could have found a way, is my point being. So, listen, I'm really glad you guys enjoyed the stream. I loved doing this. I love doing everything on this channel. You know, I enjoy performing. It's what I like to do. And this was really fun. Please make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed. We will do Dawn of the Dead. You've all spoken. We'll do Dawn of the Dead. We're going to do the extended Mall Hours edition. And it's going to be a lot of friggin' fun. Until then, make sure you're subscribed. Check out all my stuff. And I'm going to leave you with the Patreon. Peace and hair grease. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jeff. So I've decided to make a Patreon. What is Patreon? I don't know how to define a Patreon. Let me look it up. Patreon is a membership platform that makes it very easy for creators to get paid for the things that they're already creating. I want to do it full time. I want this to be my full-time job. In my efforts to make that happen, I've set up this platform. Is it going to work? Is it going to be successful? I don't know, but I would rather try and crash and burn than not try at all. The goal is to create enough passive revenue so that I can continue to do this full-time, uninterrupted. Why? Because I love to do this. I love creating content. I love making videos. I love shooting films. I love doing podcasts. In case you couldn't tell, I love to talk, and I never shut the fuck up. So right now, I've kept the Patreon incredibly simple. There's 2 tiers, and that may change in the future. The Murdergram is a simple way to extend support for all of the hours and hours of free content on the channel for nothing more than $1. 38 cents goes to Patreon. What's $1.38, eh? It's less than a cup of coffee, but it's a great way that you can show support for very little effort. When you divide that $1.38 by the hours and hours and hours of time spent listening to this endless drivel of content, the dollar cost average works out. Next up is the YouTube casualty for $6.66. The YouTube casualty is loaded to the gills. Enjoy the archive ad-free, as well as ad-free early access to special docu-style podcast videos, music reaction commentaries, and the like, a month before they drop on YouTube, loaded with ads, I might add. You're also going to get exclusive content and behind-the-scenes content that is not available on YouTube or anywhere else. So you get to peek behind the veil. And believe me, there's a couple of choice pieces. Most of all, more than anything, whether you join the Patreon or not, I just want to thank each and every one of you that comes to the channel, that watches all the shows, that leaves comments, that participates, that subscribes. That's really the most important thing. This is just trying to find a way to earn a living as an artist. And with that, thank you for my TED Talk. Join the Patreon, because we need you!
66 cents.